Hey everybody, it's Reverend Dr. Heber Brown III from the Shiloh Baptist Church, and we are very excited to be coming to you again to share some reflections on the emotion of the day. And today's emotion is envy. Envy is a character in the Inside Out 2 movie, but envy is also something that all of us experience in different situations or circumstances, and it was the focus of today's sermon and service. Hence the turquoise that some of us have on today, helping to lift up that particular emotion. Like we've done in the other videos, we're asking those who have joined me today to share just one thing they got out of today's service, or just one thing they got out of the sermon today. And we are excited to start to my far right. If you can just introduce yourself and share one thing about the service or the sermon.
Okay, my name is Maxine, and this has been a great series. And this sermon today on envy, first of all, let me just say how what you shared was that emotions don't necessarily have to be evil or good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was insightful. And then that emotions are messengers.
Mm.
You know, I thought that was extremely powerful. But one of the things I struggled with or had to, always revisit my theology, my knowledge of God, was that whole idea that envy is healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because one of the things, as I was talking to one of the other members in our church, like, how is envy healthy? And you really expounded upon that. But one of the things I was saying, if we're going to be healthy, that one of the characteristics of God is jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you had mentioned something about that. And I was like, there is no envy in God. Jealousy, you have to have a connection with the thing in order to be jealous. Envy, you could just want a thing and don't have that thing, and that make you envious. So I really was wrestling with the whole fact that envy could be healthy. So, I'm going to go back and revisit my Luke 15, look at the prodigal son. But I thought the points that you brought out in that particular story was just so insightful. And I really, I never heard it ministered that way. And so I'm like, okay, because I thought you was going to take it from the context of the son being home. And you didn't even go that route. You dealt with the son out in the street. So I thought those were great points. And thank you so much for the word that God has been placing in your heart. It was been, it's been caused me to read more, reflect more. And I think that's one of the things he said, instead of reacting, I get to reflect. And so that's been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh, praise God.
Greatly appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that was a tough thing, tough message to follow. I love you, Sister Rush.
Bless you.
My name is Richetta Dowdy, and I too want to thank you for the series, Dr. Heber. I got a lot out of this message on envy, and I thought envy was not good. I struggle with that a lot in my personal life, in my travels. And I thought that nothing could come out of envy, but I learned from the message today that there is something good that could come out of envy, and that it could push oneself to be better, that God expects us and He wants us to do better. And so in the comparison, when you gave us the bullet points, to compare yourself where you are and where you could be, when you look at where you can be, you have a good envy. I think it's non-malicious envy that could help you to look at where you can be and push toward that. And I like that. That makes it easy. And I can even teach that to my grandchildren and help my loved ones to push toward a positive envy, not to want what someone had, but to work toward getting it. And working for it yourself, you could appreciate more to getting it.
Wow, thank you. Thank you.
All right, my name is Patrice Brown, and I'll share that not having seen the movie, I now at least can agree that the title of the movie was correct. I've never seen it. I don't know that I'll even see it, but I will admit that it's a correct title. It's a good title, rather, for the series as it was presented and the emotions. And certainly today's emotion at this point, I think that there were some great things, and I've heard some of them that I will echo and share and agree on at this point about envy being a good thing. And I think that, or can be a good thing. And I think that as I think about that, and I think about probably the series, I hear a few things, a couple of words that kind of came into my mind and needed me to consult with the dictionary, right? About responsibility, accountability. Those words came to mind to me throughout the series, and certainly as we were thinking today, and being responsible for the task, responsible for the job, responsible for whatever that I have at this point, and then being accountable to it at this point, having a totally different meaning, Teddy. I didn't know that having a different thing at this point of being held responsible for those things that I had a task that was in my hand to do, my responsibility. So I heard that as you talked through some of that. And I also lean into for myself personally and endorse some other things that I do. And I love that whole thought about comparing yourself. This is what I heard. And there's some other things that I do. Comparing myself to myself. I will not win when I compare myself to Dr. Brown and to Teddy, to Sister Rush, to other sister. I'm not going to win most times when I compare that, because the lens that I look through oftentimes is jaded with some of my own self stuff that are my other emotions that you talked about, right? So I don't win in that way. But when I compare myself to myself, I can see and track what my responsibilities are, what my behaviors are, how I'm feeling, and I can lean into those at this point with some authenticity because I own those emotions. And so I think that I heard a whole lot today. I heard a lot about yet another word that will rise to my mind for me through your sermon is grace. Grace. How much more grace I need to give, how much grace that I need at this point, because the way that I have been introduced to these emotions at this point came from negative influences, came from cultures and environments that I didn't even have charge over. That's just the way they were introduced to us. So now trying to be a responsible person at this point, I'm trying to take a look at these emotions that we have and be accountable for them in the way that I'm responsible for them. I think I just preached to myself. I don't know about nobody else. I think I just helped myself with some stuff that I'm going to ride on this ride back across 695. So you take this ride, as you said, intentionally. So while I'm riding home, I think I'm going to dissect that some more. But great job. I would be remiss if I didn't take this moment to say how proud I am of this young man here to my right. I actually gave birth to him, and it's the first child I ever gave birth to. He's taught me so much. From his birth to now has taught me so much. And so I'm grateful at this point that I'm watching him live out loud, that I'm watching him live these emotions out loud. We haven't even seen the harvest of what's going to come from this fruit. So I want you to stay prepared for the harvest, because everybody ain't going to get it at the same time. But that's what I got from the day, and it was probably more than one thing, but yeah, what you gonna do?
Awesome.
My name is Ted, and what I got from it, I love the contrast between holy envy and healthy envy and unrighteous envy, and really breaking it down. And I just want to say, just this sermon as well as the other sermons were just so real. I mean, it really talked about experiences, emotions, and things that we go through in a very real way. And the thing that really touched me the most was when he was talking about the prodigal son. And when the prodigal son was at the low point, and just the self-talk that was positive and that was I will do this, and he was at the low point. It's easy to do it when you're up. Yes. It's easy to do it when you feel that everything is great, but it's something else to do it when you are low. And it just really served to do a lot of introspection, because it challenged me, I need to be better. I mean, it challenged you, like, don't be comfortable. Don't think you've arrived. be better. And so even afterwards, I'm gonna do some serious introspection. Yeah, I need to be better. And I want to be receptive to the higher ground or whatever it is that God has called me to be. So I really am thankful, for just the sermon series, and looking forward to the next sermon series. But I'm just kind of sad that we won't have our colors.
Oh man, higher. We'll keep on pushing and growing. I'm just always so blessed. Y'all know by now, this is not scripted. It's not like we had practice beforehand. It's off the cuff, it's fresh. And I'm just appreciating what each of you have shared, because now you're gonna have me thinking as I drive back on 695 too. And I think that's, sometimes that's some of the best moments when God speaks a word that makes you keep thinking. You keep thinking. It's not as settled. And I got to keep rolling that over. God has gave me something to chew on. We've moved from milk to meat, and we're chewing on something. And I'm just really grateful that God has used each of you just in these few moments to give me some stuff to keep chewing on and keep leaning into myself. Thank you so much for watching this edition of our Reflections, and we pray that you would continue to stay in tune with this channel, stay in tune with this ministry and this church, but stay in tune, most importantly, with God. Thank you so much. Have a great day.